Get your shit together, Busy. You're a bloody legend.
Due to its number of content creators, there's no doubt that YouTube has its fair share of villains. Unlike DreamWorks and Disney, its villains come in different varieties. They can be comedic like the ones from SML, or they can be horror themed like the ones from Murder Drones.
You will not have to discard your pets, and I will not discard you.
But which ones are the most evil on the Red Playbook? Hi, I'm JT, and this is YouTube Villains, Evil to Most Evil. First, let's start off with the least evil before working our way down to the most evil. The least evil villain is Gummy Goo from the Amazing Digital Circus. Gummy Goo is a bandit who steals the syrup from the Candy Canyon Kingdom. However, as he steals this, our heroes try to bring him to justice, but this doesn't go as planned. He ends up trying to drive him off the road and kill them. Although he did have a good reason for stealing the syrup, to feed his starving village. And we can excuse him for trying to kill our main cast because he's an NPC who's doing what he was programmed to do, even if he doesn't know it. He also ends up befriending Pomni, and we don't see him again after he gets deleted by Kane, but in episode 4, he is more friendlier to Pomni even if he doesn't remember her, so he's our least evil villain. Next up is Eduardo from Ed's World. Eduardo is the neighbor of Ed, and whenever approaching him, he comes off as a bully, bragging about his misfortunes and tries to make Ed look like a loser. He eventually gets superpowers and ends up destroying the whole city. As Ed tries to reason with him, we eventually realize that Ed bragged to him and made him look like a loser in kindergarten.
What? Your second place!
Which is why he bullies Ed. He eventually redeems himself and stops bullying Ed. We also realize he doesn't hate John as much despite his abuse, since in episode The End, when John dies, he ends up bursting out in tears. Next up is what most kids would think is the worst principal ever. Next up is Principal Steinbeck from SML. This principal strikes fear into the eyes of his students, threatening them with violence and beating them up for no good reason. He also likes to make them feel like prisoners in his school. He uses his son to find out information on what happened in the classroom. He actually does love his son, even directly saying to him that he loves him, which probably means he's a good dad. Up next on the list are Dans and Snad, from the animated YouTube Shorts channel of the same name. This duo creates a lot of mischief. When they come across a phone that allows them to play Black Blast in real life and delete things in real life, they use it on a lot of stuff, deleting signs at an amusement park, deleting tax collectors, and even deleting price tags on lollipops. While the tax collector one sounded like murder, they're actually just trapped in the game, no harm done. Especially since after Snad gets a game over, they respawn back in the real world. When you look at their crimes, they're really just troublemakers.
Man, I thought we were going straight to jail. Yeah, especially considering I stole this TV.
Next up is Purple Girl from Zamination. Unlike her male counterpart, she just looks to cause mischief, some of her crimes ranging to vandalism and running away from the police. However, unlike Dance and Snatch, she ranks higher than them because her crimes actually put people's lives in danger. Next up is Chaz from Helvabox. In flashbacks, he's shown to be a good boyfriend to Moxie, actually showing genuine love for him. However, once they rob a bank and Moxie gets stuck there, he decides to just bail on him, showing just how unloyal of a boyfriend he is. Even later on when he meets up again, he doesn't even apologize for that, showing he doesn't care for his actual feelings. He's also on board with Crimson's plan to have Moxie married off to him, but he doesn't rank higher since he's just a henchman. Piracy is no party, especially when you get caught by DJ Halabu. Created by the YouTuber Jolie Perleone, in the pirated version of Mario Party, he tries to make you learn a lesson by having you write an apology. However, in the video, as Joey just decides to ignore it, he ends up appearing in the real world and chases him around the video trying to kill him. I get it, he was mad, but he took it a little too far. At the end of the video, he traps Joey in a DS and breaks it with him inside, but I'm not sure if he's dead or not. Next up is Tony the Talking Clock from Don't Hug Me, I'm Scared. This guy is one of the multiple minions sent by Roy to torture our beloved cast. He's mean to them, insults them, and even makes them age to death, but he doesn't rank higher since he's the lackey. Up next is one of the most hated YouTubers, That Vegan Teacher. This woman has made her mark on YouTube. She slanders YouTubers telling us false facts.
Things belong on chickens and on birds. Don't eat them. Stealing is wrong. Don't promote violence.
She believes non-vegans don't deserve to live and even made some racist comments.
Like she might be naturally intelligent, gorgeous, generous, exemplary, and radiant. She looks like she could be that to me.
She also might be a fake vegan.
Oh, I noticed that she had a piece of meat in the bottom of her fridge.
Come on. Actually, stop filming for a second.
She's even said that she wanted a few people dead and sees herself more superior than God, which is enough to get her the Pride Sinner medal. I mean, what the fuck? Next up is Marty from SMG4. Now, I know what you're thinking, but don't let this guy's appearance fool you. He stole SMG3's notebook to find out the secrets inside, runs a casino with a crime organization, and even tortures SMG3 and SMG4 for answers. And in the video We Must Kill Mario, he even poisons a huge supply of marinara sauce, but his plan is unsuccessful. Marty gets the Sloth Center medal because despite being a living piece of cardboard, he just lets Mario handle all the work and just stand there.
He's just standing there, menacingly!
Next up is Bob from Spooky Month. He's a bit like Michael Myers, but more silly and less intelligent. He tries to kill Leela, Skid, and Pump as revenge for her getting him arrested, and the fact that he's willing to kill 2 defenseless kids is why he ranks so high. But he also gets the Darwin Center medal because he's easily distracted by candy. Next up is Mordecai Heller from Lackadaisy. This cat is bad news. He's a dangerous criminal who smuggles alcohol, and when our main characters beat him to a job, he hunts them down for the whole episode trying to kill them, but eventually just decides to let them go. Next up is Serpentius from Hazbin Hotel. This guy was a major threat in the pilot episode, participated in turf wars, endangering and possibly killing people, even attacking the hotel twice. But in the show, he eventually becomes a better person, and even fights alongside our heroes, even ending up in heaven for redeeming himself. He doesn't rank higher because of this, but he also ranks this high because of how much a threat he was in the pilot. Next up is Secret History Tales from the MASH channel. After being assigned as Sonic's sidekick, he immediately believed he was actually his best friend. This unhealthy obsession with Sonic led him to kill both Knuckles and Shadow because they were getting close to him as friends. He even tried to kill Amy next after that. He doesn't rank any higher because I think this was all just due to his insanity. But also, due to his obsession with Sonic, I'll also give him the Lust Sinner medal.
They didn't love you! I loved you! You think they were your friends!
Next up is Miss Circle from Fundamental Paper Education, or FBE for short. One thing this alien teacher likes to do most is whenever her students fail, she kills them and eats them, which is pretty terrifying compared to everything else we've seen. I didn't rank her higher because I believe that she's at least nice to the students who pass, but she'll definitely get the Gluttony Center medal for her huge appetite for children. Next up is Doll from Murder Jones. She has committed her fair share of murders, and has even many worker Jones, including her own parents. She ranks higher than Miss Circle because I'm pretty sure she's claimed more victims than her. Next up is Devil Mario from the Power Star series. Now, for some of you who've seen the series, you probably think he should be placed somewhat higher, but let me explain. For starters, he's killed lots of Toads throughout the series, kills his brother, and even kills Princess Peach at the end of the series, and then gets close to taking over the world. But he doesn't rank higher due to being possessed by booze and having no control over his actions. He even sacrifices himself at the end. Next up is One from Number Lore. He enters the Alphabet Lore world looking to kidnap X and create other numbers. He attacks our heroes occasionally and even tries to escape so he can complete his plan. Doesn't rank higher simply due to the fact that we got worse on this list. Next up is the CEO from Game Tunes. This greedy CEO has had his scientists turn people into toys just for the sake of making a quick cash grab. He even treats the reject toys with disrespect and casts them aside. He's not even good to the people he turns into toys, only seeing them as products, and has tried to kill our heroes multiple times. Next up is the YouTuber EDP445. He actually used to make funny videos, like his experience in Chipotle bathrooms.
Yeah, I just took a mean-ass shit in Chipotle. When I flushed the toilet, it didn't go all the way the fuck down.
Over time, people started to rumor that he was talking to minors online and sending inappropriate messages. But it only gets worse from here because later on he makes a video threatening a YouTuber called Raven with a gun. Eventually a sting operation was set up and this guy was actually trying to meet up with the minor, but he tries to explain that he was only trying to pick up a cupcake.
Well, I was actually coming out here to pick up a cupcake and then go back home.
This creep more than deserved to have his YouTube channel deleted. Seriously, keep your kids away from this man. Next up is Valentino from Hazbin Hotel. Now, I know some of you Hazbin Hotel fans are gonna argue that he should be higher on this list, but let me explain. First of all, he's this high up due to how abusive he is to Angel, sexually and physically. Due to owning Angel's soul, he constantly abuses him and forces him to work long hours, not even giving him a break. He basically forces Angel to do whatever he wants in the studio, so Angel's essentially a slave. Valentino is a terrible boss and a complete monster, but he's not a global threat, which is why he's not higher. Next is Crimson from Hell of a Boss. This demon is a mafia boss in the Greed Ring. Tries to toughen up his son Moxie by teaching him to kill, but when his wife gets in the way, he kills her. He's really abusive to Moxie and a terrible father.
Let this be a lesson, Moxie.
As a scheme, he tries to have Moxie married off to Chaz just for his own benefit. He works with Stryker to hold Blitz and Fizzaroli ransom to get half of what Osmodius owns. He definitely deserved to get crushed by that warehouse. Next up is Roy from Don't Hug Me, I'm Scared. Now, on the topic of terrible fathers, it's important to note that while Crimson may have been abusive to Moxie, he at least didn't torture him or emotionally scar him like Roy did to his son. But it's not just Yellow Guy who endures this torture. He puts him and his friends through this torture by spawning in these teachers who teach them lessons, and it ends up taking a dark turn. He also appears in the background of a lot of episodes, which has to mean he was spying on them. Surprisingly, this monster doesn't rank any higher because we got way worse down the list. Next up is Racist Mario. If there's one thing this version of Mario hates most is non-Nintendo characters racing on his track. He's abusive to Peach and kills almost a lot of characters in the entire video. He tries to kill Luigi and even Kratos, but thank God he fails. He doesn't rank higher because he spares non-Nintendo characters who don't race on his track, but he does get the rap sentimental due to his anger and how violent he is. Next up is F from Alphabet Lore. This guy has killed and attacked a whole bunch of letters throughout the series. He's kidnapped a few of them and held them prisoner in his lair. He even stole a few of their magic crystals, and has even tried to kill our heroes multiple times. He doesn't rank higher because N goes back in time and defends him when he gets bullied and becomes his friend, which results in him redeeming himself. Next up is Stryker from Hell of a Boss. This assassin was hired by Stella to kill Stolas twice, only for his plans to be stopped by IMP. He works with Crimson to help hold Fizzaroli and Blitz ransom to get half of what Osmodius owns. But when Blitz and Fizzaroli escape, he tries to kill Fizzaroli and holding him at gunpoint. He makes a brief appearance in the episode Mastermind, testifying against IMP, trying to have them executed. He ranks this high because in one scene he claims to have a kill count in the hundreds.
But I have a body count in the hundreds.
Next up is Phone Guy from FNAF the Musical. He employs the Night Guard Markiplier and tries to trick him into believing the animatronics are bad so everyone will turn on each other. He's had his fair share of murders, even killing 5 kids.
3 kids have gone missing from a restaurant this year alone, plus 2 last year.
After his encounter with Glitchtrap, he hides out in the pizzeria. Later, it was said that there's an explosion that destroys Freddy Fazbear's and he was thought to be dead, but he might be back soon. Next up on the list is Jax from the Amazing Digital Circus. Now, if it weren't for his sudden character change, he probably wouldn't be this high. In the pilot episode, he was just more of a jerk, playing pranks on people, invading their privacy, and just be hurtful. In episode 2, he has a sudden thirst for violence and plans to shoot Gummy Goo at his gang. He also blackmails Gangle into ramming the truck with Pomni on top, not caring about her safety at all.
Do it, or I'll tell Ragatha about the figurine thing.
What gets him this high is when he opens the gates to the Candy Canyon Kingdom, letting the Fudge Monster get in and eat everyone, essentially committing a mass murder. Next up is One Shot Ren from SMG4. After losing his glory as a Splatfest champion, he becomes part of a facility kidnapping people, trapping them in a simulation and killing them. He ranks higher than Jax because he's actually committed multiple mass murders. He's also kidnapped the SMG4 crew and has killed Meggy multiple times, putting her through so much torture. But as he dies, he at least tells Meggy that he enjoyed having her as a rival.
At least you made one hell of a rival.
Okay, we finally made it to Tord from Ed's world. In older videos, he went on adventures with our protagonists. But then, he realized he just wanted to follow his dreams and make it in the big city, only to come back later in the episode The End because he forgot his robot, so he decided to manipulate Ed and Matt into believing he just wanted to move back in. However, Tom ends up figuring out that he was part of a terrorist group and is running away from the law, so to make sure he doesn't tell anyone, Tord tries to kill him. Not only does he betray his friends, but he also ends up destroying the house and tries to fly away to take over the world. Despite Tom stopping him, he most likely will come back. Next up is Niles from SMG4. Back then, he was friends with SMG0 and Fred, only for him to attack their home planet and end up killing Fred on accident. Later, he possesses Melanie just so he can get into the God Box. He kidnaps SMG0 and forces him to fuse with him and tries to kill our main heroes, even trying to use him to create his perfect universe, which could have affected the current universe in a bad way. He's at least at peace knowing that he can go to heaven with his friends, and fully accepting of his fate. He ranks as high due to his plan possibly putting the universe in danger. Next up is SMG3 from SMG4. Throughout the series, he's had multiple evil plans, from trying to destroy the world with a black hole to trying to ruin SMG4's YouTube channel. The worst thing that he does is when in the YouTube arc he takes over the SMG4 world, controls everyone with a magic remote. He almost got close to winning only to be stopped by SMG4. He eventually redeems himself later on, but in some episodes he still tries to be a villain, which makes his redemption feel wasted. But on other occasions he's had a few heroic moments, like when he stopped Marty and stopped Mr. Puzzles. Next up is Does Bad Things Guy from SML. He's one of the darkest and well-known YouTube villains. For a while he's been pretending to be Broken Tea Guy, and constantly murdering people and hiding their dead bodies behind the secret door. He does this every time someone looks behind the secret door when he tells them not to. Rosalina, Mario, and even Jeffy look behind the door and he ties them up and gets ready to kill them after that.
Let's cut out your tongue, yeah. That should be worth a picture.
He ranks as high due to how dark and murderous he is. Okay, you've probably been waiting for this guy. Next up is Secret History Mario. It should be no surprise this monster is so high up. He takes over the Mushroom Kingdom and turns everyone into slaves. He kills Sonic for not canceling the launch of the Dreamcast and is an abusive boyfriend to Peach. And at the end of the animation, he decides to blow up the Mushroom Kingdom, killing everyone to create a brand new start. There's nothing redeeming to say about this monster, but there are worser than him on this list. Next is Waluigi from Mashed. This guy is an absolute menace. He decided to kill every character in Smash, going on a rampage, killing everyone.
Man, this is easy. Easy peasy, Robin Squeezy Nest was levitating, so I leveled him and left him leaking.
All because he wasn't put in Smash. However, due to how strong he was, they decided to finally put him in Smash. And you'd think he'd stop after that, but no. We still see him killing people after that, even destroying a planet. After realizing that Shaggy and Luigi were the most powerful, he decided to kill them so he'd earn that title. He locks up Luigi and tries to kill Shaggy. I would have given him the most evil spawn if it weren't for his sudden redemption. When Luigi goes too far with his revenge, trying to kill him for killing his brother, Shaggy steps in to stop him, and while Luigi appreciates him for saving his life, that they both team up and try to stop Luigi. Next up is Sin from Murder Drones. She has done so much. First of all, she sends the disassembly drones to kill the worker drones, essentially committing a genocide almost. She has also murdered a lot of worker drones and humans alongside that, and has tried to kill our heroes in the finale. Now, her hatred for humans is understandable since these robots aren't treated with respect by them. But this is what led her to wipe them all out, as she implied that she destroyed Earth in one scene.
Thanks for clearing the way on this planet too. Let's eat.
But when it comes to redeeming qualities, at least she did like N, even seeing him as a big brother figure. Next up is Mammon from Helva Boss. Unlike greedy boss tropes like Mr. Burns and Mr. Krabs, he's way more sinister than them. He exploits his stars for their talent and even makes products so he can make money off of them. He's an awful boss and exploits Fizzaroli's talents, and even doesn't let him have a break unless he gives the fans autographs.
Is it okay if I maybe skip the whole thing?
Of course not.
In one scene where Fizzaroli's under stress, instead of comforting him, he just tells him to get his act together.
Get your shit together, Fizzy. You're a bloody legend.
When he disappears in a cloud of smoke, he also ends up taking out everyone in the circus tent, which shows he's not above murder. He makes a brief appearance in the episode Mastermind and testifies against IMP to have them executed. Not for justice, but because they're lower class and he doesn't like lower class demons. Also because he wants to get to lunchtime early.
Yay, it's fucking lunchtime!
Mammoth is definitely a greedy boss and deserves the Greed Center medal, but he's only 5th place because we're gonna get to the really evil villains, but it makes you wonder what his other crimes have been. Coming in 4th place is Mr. Puzzles from SMG4. Okay, now here's a really evil villain. First off, he brainwashes the SMG4 crew, and they're basically his slaves as he forces them to act in his TV parodies so he can get that 5-star rating he's been wanting. They're nothing but puppets to him, as they're just something he needs to fuel his dreams. When they escape his control, he tries to kill them after that. In War of the Fat Italian 2024, he takes over Disney World and makes it his own amusement park and kidnaps the SMG4 crew and brainwashes them into working there for him. He goes out of his way to try and kill Mario, SMG4, and Meggy so they don't stop him. He ranks this high due to how much he enjoys making people his slaves, but he doesn't rank higher due to his moments of sympathy. First off, as a kid, he had no friends or anyone to play with, so he spent all his time watching TV. And when he gets arrested at the end and locked up in solitary confinement, he's at least happy knowing he believes he has one true friend. But he does get the Envy Center medal due to being jealous of SMG4's success in the Meme Factory episode. Alright, we're in the top 3 now. The Bronze Medal of Evil goes to Alistair from Hazbin Hotel. When he was alive, he murdered a lot of people and disposed of their bodies so no one would find out. However, eventually when he died and got shot to death, he ended up in hell and created a reputation for himself, mass murdering a lot of demon overlords. He's so high up due to his reputation in hell. Also, due to owning Husk's soul, he also threatens to kill him if he disrespects him again.
I will tear your soul apart and broadcast your screams for every other disrespectful wretch.
He also makes a deal with Charlie near the end of Season 1, and given how sinister he is, it can't be anything good.
Deal.
However, he's in 3rd place due to the fact that he at least has some redeeming moments, like when he defended the hotel from the angelic attack and from Penchus. Let's just hope he doesn't get worser in Season 2. Earning the Silver Medal of Evil goes to Level Down from the Level Up channel. He first starts by possessing Luigi and pretending to be him. When he comes across Level Up, he traps him in the void between worlds to make sure he doesn't get in the way of his plan. He basically goes to war with the Mushroom Kingdom, killing almost all of its guards and even trying to lay waste to the kingdom. The fact that he's willing to trap people like Level Up and Princess Plum in the void between worlds to kill them shows just how much he's willing to go with his plan. But he's only 2nd place for a reason, but he's really high due to the fact that he was willing to go this hard with his plan. Alright, here's the moment you've all been waiting for. The Gold Medal of Evil for Most Evil YouTube Villain goes to Bryson from Hamination. This guy is an absolute menace. There is no doubt he shouldn't get the Gold Medal of Evil. First off, he's always killing people and beating them up for disagreeing with him.
What if I like pouring the milk first?
And let's not forget the godlike powers he has. There's no way he's not a global threat.
Fall to the earth and perish.
He's still alive!
I'd be surprised if humanity wasn't under his control, but Bryson is the most evil YouTube villain in all of YouTube. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed today's video. If you want to see more videos like this, please like and subscribe. Thank you very much for watching this video.